Let's make sure that that's working. Hello. Hi everybody. Um, I suspected that an issue had taken place. Um, hmm. That's curious. Please tell me that you can hear me though, because then I think an entirely different series of things may have happened that I'm trying to avoid as much as possible. Um, okay. Yeah. Okay. Just seems to be a bag of technical difficulties with me every time that I run a stream here. Unfortunately, I'm sorry. But I mean, we're here for another session of Soundclash Clampdown. Here on the mighty Arvin Elleron channel. This Sunday. Um, I suspect that there is like some video issues that I'm having at the moment. According to my observation of Twitch, it looks like I am utterly frozen in time at the moment, which is not ideal. Um, but I would like to think that this will get better at some point. I would like to think that at least you'll be able to see and hear everybody else, and that I hope that it's just me that ends up being the problem, but we'll see how that turns out. Um, in any case, thank you all for joining us. We're going to soldier on despite some of these technical difficulties, and I'll see if we can have some of it sorted out before we end, or at least that I can determine what the source of the issue is. Um, but we're all here. Thank you for joining us on Arvan Eleron's channel. There are multiple ways that you can support Arvan Eleron and keep this channel alive, including purchasing some of Arv's content at our at exclamation point our shop, supporting him financially through Patreon that you can find the link to at exclamation point Arvtreon, um, and um, I believe one of the things that would be most important at this point, um, in terms of like discovering how this stream is going to go, is just to move forward and see exactly um how the rest of the stream works when you invite all of these lovely people to it. So I'm just going to move over there. I'm just going to click the thingy so everyone can hear me. Because if you can hear me, even if you cannot see me, that means that I'm still here. Um, Hi, everybody. Um, I'm sorry that we're still having technical difficulties of some sort. Um, I do hope that everyone can still see the rest of these lovely people that are um, in this chat as well. And I'm going to ask each one of them to introduce themselves, telling us who you are and what you do and who you'll be playing in Soundclash Clampdown, starting with Vale. Nice. Next, Nathan Blades. Okay, nice. Next, Katie. And last but not least, Amr. I absolutely believe you. Yes. Um. um. Okay. I just want to make sure of some other things. Um. Cool. Right. Right. Okay. Cool. And I am Brandon O'Brien. My pronouns are he, him, or they, them. I will be the stage manager for this evening. I'm just hoping to mitigate any other technical issues that may occur, but for the moment, we should be good, I think. Um, so,
Hold on, just sorry to interrupt. I have the stream feed going. I can hear you. I don't think we can. I can hear us on feed.
I
So you might need
suspected
to.
that that had happened. Oh my god.
No, it's all good. It's how that goes. You might need to explain to the audience. So we might need to do our intros again. But yeah.
Oh yes. See, I am sorry. Things keep happening, but things are fine now. For the most part, as long as OBS is actually obeying my instructions. Um, but yes, I'm going to ask everybody very nicely to reintroduce themselves in the event that you didn't actually hear them introduce themselves. Um, Starting with Vale.
Unmute. That's important. Hi guys, my name is Vale. I use he and they pronouns. I play the beat sheet, which is funny because it rhymes, and with Ava, who uses she and her pronouns.
Nice. Next, Nathan.
Hi, hello. I am the androgynous android, the game show host from the future, Nathan Blades, using he, they pronouns. Nice to be back here once again. I am a tabletop RPG designer and streamer and video game variety streamer as of late. The character that I play on Soundclash the Clampdown is Oliver Hoshizora, resident anime character and sad boy. And I can hear myself on the feed, so that's good. And yes, they play the theremin and they are the harmony.
Okay. Next, Katie.
Hello. I'm going to be as serious and professional as I was last time for sure. It's me, Katie Chin, up and coming comedian who you'll see on the big screen one day. And today on Twitch, I'm playing River Song, no relation to any sci fi shows you may have seen in the past or future or present. And she is the rhythm of the group and lover of many string instruments. That's all I remember saying last time, so Baba Booey.
Thank you. And last, Amr.
Wow, no, but not least this time. Wow, I see how it is. Hello, I'm Hamid Evraz. I use they she pronouns. I will be playing our lovely Melody, Nakhmet, who is not at all going to put herself way over her head and do things that they will definitely not regret later. Why would you ever suggest that? They just take only measured actions with no risks here. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. So now that we can hear everyone now, um, I am going to lead directly into one of the mechanical things that I want us to go over before we get into the drama of this evening, which is, as promised, I have now shown the rest of this crew the band sheet for their band, for their punk band. They have seen the thing. It exists. It's not complete. It's nowhere near complete, but it exists and they've seen it. And I just want to go over some of the things that physically exist on that sheet right now.
Mhm.
So, um, They don't. So obvious, as previously mentioned, not everything is on this sheet already. But of the things that presently do exist, they presently have two upgrades, which is um, training force and a gang cohort called Rebels. Um, Training essentially means that if you ever wanted to take a moment to uh, train specifically in um, any of your skills relating to force, you can definitely you will your training in that regard will be mechanically much better than training anything else. Um, as for your gang cohort, we will get to that point narratively at some point in the future. But just know at this moment, mechanically, you have a small gang, which will do small gang things as we get to that point. Um, there is also a claims sheet, which I will give you. Which on that claims sheet, you already have a rehearsal space. You get to define that rehearsal space however you wish. It could be Ava's apartment as previously established, or it could be um, any other space that you all now have the opportunity to share. You are given the opportunity to define that as you choose. I would like to know where you'd like to put that when we get to that point narratively. But that's just as easy as when we get into play and I ask you if you're rehearsing. You just tell me where you rehearse. Um, how this crew sheet works is separate than how it works typically in Blades in the Dark, which is that you will take one claim, and then whenever you're capable of taking another claim, you will just take one that is physically attached to it. But the grid appearance that takes is different than how it looks in Soundclash. It looks essentially like a flowchart. What looks right now like a visually very bad flowchart, but still. Um, and whenever you take a claim, um, that claim will be immediately connected to two other claims that you can take in the future. But whenever you take one of those other claims, the separate claim that it would have been previously attached to is no longer available until you take another claim in the future and then step back to it. Which would make sense if you get to see it, and I will make a visual version of the punk sheet available on itch.io very very soon when it's finally done, but it's not done, and it would only exist for you to be able to see how it works because Soundclash is not done either, but you would get to see it. Also, not all of the special abilities that the punks will have available to them are in the sheet right now, but there is enough for them to be able to gain a special ability at this moment in time, which is bring down the house. Can I ask if anybody has the band sheet in front of them right now? Please raise your hand. Okay. Vale, can I ask you to read what the special ability bring down the house does?
Whenever a bandmate strains, they gain a reverb point, up to 2 per bandmate.
So, a reverb point is essentially a point of magic that you get to use in any ridiculous way that you so choose. It can um, add bonuses to rolls. It can allow you to do one particularly weird magical thing at any point in time once you spend it. And everyone in the band already has one. Can anyone guess what the thing is that represents a reverb point that you all physically own at this moment?
Although I currently don't have more. If I guessed right, and it's the little pyramids that we had
Right.
from the.
Yes, you
Yeah,
lost
I
yours
have
at the
mine.
observatory. Yours is
Yeah.
like, I don't know, burning a hole through concrete at this moment. But yes,
How
everybody
embarrassing.
everybody else still has one, and I mean, technically, that's still there for you to look for, I guess. But yes. So up to you can each member of the band can hold up to 2 reverb points, and we can talk more about what reverb points do or don't do at a future point. Um, and yeah, I think that's everything that needs to be gone over for that crew sheet at this moment. And if anybody has any questions, feel free to let me know and I'll clarify anything for you. Um, but with all of that in mind, we should get back into the action that we left off the last time that we were in the world of the Clefs, which was um, our intrepid heroes discovering a crime scene and doing some investigation of their own and essentially discovering that someone that they have met is marked for death um, by a person or persons relatively unknown, identifying themselves only as Weirda. And the next target that they have in mind after severely ruining this one person um, is um, a music promoter that we have already met named Devlin, who is kind of terrible, but arguably doesn't deserve to die. I guess we'll figure out what happens to him as we progress in the rest of the story. Which is why I should open by asking where everyone is at this moment, now that it is day, the morning after having discovered that crime scene. Um, where are you all and what are you all doing?
Is it a weekday?
Yes, it is still a weekday.
River is at school, very nervous and jumpy, as if someone might just burst through the door and arrest her for being in places where she shouldn't have been.
Fair point, yes.
You have not seen Oliver all day, Katie. Oliver came in early to turn in current assignments and then kind of very quickly headed off campus back up to the observatory to see if they are able to do a bit of urban exploration to recover what they lost last night. Whether you've asked him what he's doing or where he's going, you might not have done, but he's definitely not at school today.
There was definitely a text. Did you respond?
Yeah. He's definitely responded, being like, "Forgot something important. Can't return until I get it."
Keep me updated.
You get like you get just a why. They're like, yeah, and
Okay. So
One does not simply skip school. What are you all doing?
so here's a question for Oliver. What did you bring with you to the observatory?
Well, there is like a general go bag that Oliver brings when trying to get to the observatory, which is a mixture of their kind of general music kit, like their portable theremin, their poetry / songwriting notebook, Tales of the Zodiac Volume 5, and like headphones and like a dictaphone recorder and stuff like that. But it also has like, you know, a pair of like heavy duty gloves you might wear if you're a horticulturist, so you don't accidentally grab anything sharp, and a small pair of bolt cutters.
Okay. So
Every so often they kind of re-establish chain link fences and similar to stop people from getting onto this otherwise closed property. But, you know, I need to get onto the closed property.
so this place is still like being actively um upkept with the specific purpose of keeping other people out of it on a regular basis.
I like the drama of that, where it's like this building is unused and it's not been used for years, but they still, for some reason, want to maintain the grounds. Oliver doesn't know why, but it's the best place you can see the stars and the hex. So
Nice. Cool. So That means you definitely need to give me a roll to see if anybody else is here first. What role do you think that might be?
Let me. I was gonna be kind of like, do I want to try and like mingle as a social role? But that's if I run into somebody. I'm not running
Yeah.
into anybody just yet. Not running just yet. Give me a second to pull up the full skill list and not just the ones I'm directly using. That is me being disorganized. Apologies. Here we go. Yeah, observe is the most sensible kind of dot for that. We are scoping the spot. Seeing if we
Okay.
can
And
find where we are.
how many dots do you have in observe?
I do not have any dots in observe, so I will be rolling the 2d20s and taking the worst one.
Yes, that's exactly what will happen.
Spiciest.
I mean, it's how it be. Is there any other additional modifiers to this, or am I just rolling the 2d20?
Nope, just 2d20.
Oh, position effect. I remember how to play
Right,
Forged in
yes.
the Dark games. Let's go.
Thank you for reminding me of that. Oh my god, it's been a while. Your position is risky. And your effect is standard.
Perfectly fine. Let's go. Well, I rolled a nat 20, which is bad in this game.
You strained. Okay. Oh, this is going to be brilliant. This is going to be brilliant. This is lovely.
For once, it is not I who is straining. Maha.
So,
I mean, this interacts weirdly with our new ability, I suppose, but go ahead.
oh yeah,
Going to
definitely.
duplicate.
So, you were looking for people, not things. But remember when you noted that you did not have your black crystal and came back here specifically to find it? And remember how I went over the fact that whenever someone strains, their new band ability allows them to gain one reverb point, and that reverb point is physically represented by those black crystals. You... Right, so you cut this reasonably small enough hole through the fence for you to get through the observatory. You step through like what is essentially one of the side doors into the building, and there
Little
is
pen torch looking around,
and like 8-9 feet into the hallway that you walk into, there is already a man in maintenance overalls, like staring right at you. He's like, "Where did you come?" And then that immediate response that you have of fear and trepidation is immediately met by the universe with this loud crashing noise to your right. And then you just see this like dark blur rush past your eye line and then just like crash into the wall to your left. It is the crystal that you lost vibrating very quickly. Vibrating so quickly and with such intensity, in fact, that it is making the entire wall shake. But like in that immediate action, like just from bursting through the wall from the right, it sends like this large piece of stone right into that man's head. That man is now unconscious.
Hell yeah. There's a kind of like a whirring, whining noise. Be like, well, it's just wham.
Yeah.
I dropped my phone. Reaches into looks at the like unconscious guard. Oh, okay, thank God. Stares at the rock in hand. It's like, well, at least you're hard to lose. Puts into bag. Looks at guard. Turns around. There
In
is no
fact,
checking. There is no checking of body.
right. Before you leave, like
Hmm.
in that beat while you're still looking down at him,
Hmm.
I need you to give me another roll.
Oh, please do. What am I rolling,
I
darling?
think it's another observe roll. We're essentially rolling to see if anything else in the space gathers your attention.
Hmm. Effect?
Um, right. So your position is still risky, and your
Hmm.
effect is. Your effect is standard.
Perfect. More reasonable. The worst one is a partial success at 6.
Yes. Okay. Um, you. So like the hallway in front of you is actually kind of ruined. To be fair,
Hmm.
like to the point where no one can actually enter. No one can actually exit through this door again if they're deeper inside the observatory.
Hmm.
Um, but you do see like the very faded edge of a flashlight point in its direction, and you hear people murmuring
Hmm.
just before you decide to leave.
Hmm.
So now, if you try, if you were to leave right now, you know that no one is going to see you by the time that this door is closed. But you know that there are already people inside, so there's nothing more that you can do in this building.
Well, I found what I needed to. Uh, let's get out of here. And yeah, he kind of like turns. We kind of established that he's kind of in a big puffer jacket, red, and like big high top sneakers. So nothing that he's wearing is visually stealthy at all. But he kind of makes his best to kind of move back out the way he came,
Mm-hmm.
and scrambling through the bolt-cutted hole, and is initially walking slowly in a, well, if I'm walking like I know where I am, then there's no reason for anybody to stop me. But that slowly breaks into a jog, which breaks into a run, which breaks into a desperate stambling sprint as he tries to get off site as fast as possible.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um. So those things are happening.
Hmm.
Nachmat, where are you?
You know, we've had a hectic while. I feel like for once I'm actually having a slow morning. Um, I am at a cafe somewhere, just like eating a breakfast, just reading a book, relaxing.
Okay.
It's probably like right off campus, we'll say. It's close to campus.
Mm-hmm. Um. All right. What are you eating for breakfast here?
I think it's like okay. I think it's just like a very casual like hot chocolate and croissant while like reading a book type breakfast.
Okay.
Um, just like every now and then dipping it in a bit of honey, taking a bite.
Okay. Hmm. I would like you to give me a fortune roll. And by that I mean, um, roll a d20 for me.
Well, if you insist. That is a 4.
Okay. Yeah, nothing terrible is going to happen here. The most that I will do with a 4 is you spill a little bit of hot cocoa. Um, that could have been a whole lot worse. Be glad that you rolled a 4. Um, but another thing that does happen in this moment is, um, you get a text message. It's from Ace Fan.
From who?
It's from Ace Fan, the friend that we had just met early, uh, in our previous session, who just so
Right.
happened to know everybody's information.
Right.
Um,
Right. Yes. The one who warned us from going to a place that we all went to.
And the message reads, I hope that you didn't get in trouble last night.
Quick response. I never get in trouble.
Um,
Can you? I hope you can say the same.
they reply, I'm trying to find the best ways to word this. In real life, I don't actually enjoy texting people. Um, that scene looked like a mess. Dot dot dot. Is there anything inside there that the people should know?
Depends how you define the people.
Is the clefs in danger?
The class? Is that what they said?
Is the clefs in danger?
The clefs in danger. When is the clefs not in danger?
True. Dot dot dot. And then they, like like you know how when you're sending a message through iMessage, the three dots come up to show like they're still typing.
Yes.
You see this for a good long while, as if they've
Mhm.
really intensely sending you a message. And then it just stops.
Cat got your fingers?
Um, laughing emoji, laughing emoji.
So, I forget, they didn't really tell us who they were, right? They kind of avoided questions when we tried to ask that
Yeah,
last time.
yeah, you have no
Uh,
idea who this person or persons might be.
All right. So exactly. So you ready to tell us who you are yet, or?
I'm not as important as the rest of you.
No offense, but knowing who I'm talking to is pretty important to me.
I'm sorry, but not yet.
Well, I'm sorry too, but until I know I can trust you, you can ask as many questions as you want, and you will keep getting these answers.
Fair enough, but please take care. And um, they put a upward fist emoji and a sign of the horns emoji, and then you don't hear from them again.
Perfect. Uh, do, uh, don't worry. I just responded to the final when they said like, "Be careful." Don't worry. I don't plan on going near any cleft edges soon.
Okay.
And then continue my breakfast. I will text the rest of the group and be like, "Hey everyone, just for the record, weird number texting me again. You know the one."
Suspicious.
They're not going to call the cops on us, are they?
They at least seem to be for the people, quote unquote. I put that like in I think I put that in triple quotes on each side. They never really answered who the people they represent are, but they at least claim to want to know if something is dangerous to the Cloughs, whether that's to protect us or to put us in more trouble. They at least seem to care for now, but no reason to trust them.
I just hope that nobody else is put on ice. Snowflake emoji.
I just respond with, "I'm trembling in fear."
Oh God.
It's hard to tell in text whether that message from Oliver is coming from a things are hard, but I'm trying my best to make the light of the circumstances, or Oliver going "Wah!" Because tone doesn't carry in text messages, but still.
Uh huh. Um, Okay, so where is Ava?
Ava has called off from school today because Ava walked in on a murder scene yesterday.
Okay. Has that ever happened before? Have you ever taken a day off work for personal reasons?
Oh, no, Ava's probably that teacher that comes hell or her high water. So it's definitely like a strange thing. But to put some time in for everyone else, um, I think she's trying to look for um, a space to set up her drums and stuff where they can do music without having to disturb her neighbors or her daughter.
Okay. I want to be sure. Andrea is at school today, isn't she?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure that your daughter didn't decide she was also going to be home. Um. Okay. What do I want to do here? I want to cause some trouble, but not too much trouble. Right. So, um, right. There is a teacher in your department. She doesn't teach history. She probably teaches geography or social studies. Um, I want you to tell me what this teacher's name is.
uh, hmm. I'm gonna look up a name generator because every name just escaped my head right now.
I'm sorry to do this to you.
No, it's okay. We do this to you all the time. Isabella Hopkins. I like it.
Okay.
Oh, I miss Katie's awesome. Amazing.
Oh Lord. So right. You get a phone call from Miss Hopkins.
Um, I think Ava panics a little bit. She's like, "Why is she calling me? I'm off today."
I mean, you can imagine why she's calling. She's calling because you're off today.
Uh, and so she picks up and she's like, "Hello,
Hi, Ava. Are you okay?
I'm not feeling well today."
I'm sorry to hear that. What's going on? Is it? Are you sick? Did you come down with something?
I just think, you know how sometimes they have sales on meat at the store when it's like on the edge there? I think I might have gone for too good of a sale.
Okay. I mean, I understand, but I mean, if you, I, I'll be honest with you. If I wouldn't blame you if you just wanted to take the day. You can tell me. I, I, duck, I do play hooky from school almost like 3 times a week when possible. I love these kids, but the bureaucracy inside here is sometimes too much to take. So I wouldn't blame you if you just decided you just needed some time to yourself. If you were just like having a glass of wine or something, I wouldn't judge. I'd ask if I could join you actually, which is why I'm calling. If there's something you want to talk about, if there's something that's on your mind, because I'm still thinking about this Devlin thing. Did you hear, by the way? Apparently, they've already like named performers for the first qualifier of the Soundclash. They're having a four teams. They're having like a 14 section of that competition apparently this evening. I think people are supposed to get messages soon. And like you can hear Miss Hopkins like like you can hear that she's visibly fuming on the other end of the line because she's like, can you imagine like if one of our kids has to get called, gets a message just after school is over saying that they're supposed to go on the other side of the cliffs and get dressed to perform in front of dozens of people who just think of them like a piece of meat, like just as any average performer whose job is to just shake it and make some money and then go home. I I I don't know. I feel very weird about that.
You see, Isabella. You see, I. Oh, now I feel much worse. I love you. Thank you for calling me. But oh my god, you know I have to go out there now, right?
What do you mean?
It, I mean, I have to see if they're gonna be if one of the kids get called, I have to see to make sure that they're not.
No,
Oh,
you don't need to. If you want me to, if you want me to check that, I will check that. You're sick, remember? It's fine. I I mean, I was going to go down there anyway, but like, I would hate to have to give one of these kids a piece of my mind because of somebody else's deceit. Like they're just teens. They don't know what they're getting into. We know who's responsible for this. It's just we can't do anything about it, right?
I mean, we can't. But it's only a matter of time before someone gives Devlin a piece of their mind and he might be a little bit frozen up.
Damn it. Eh, I hope so. He 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 seems like a slime ball to me. I don't trust him. I just hope that he doesn't hurt any of our kids or get any of our kids hurt.
I I get that. I'm gonna see if I can power through this. And if you're going, I think I'm gonna go too.
If you're really not feeling okay, it's fine. But I will let you know if I see or hear anything then.
Uh huh.
And if I do see any of those kids there, I'm gonna give them a stern talking to. Um,
Yeah. Ay, goodness. Okay.
so I'll just let you get back to rest then. Tell your daughter I said hi. And I hope that I see you in school soon.
Thank you for the call.
Anytime. Bye. Click.
Bye. I think as soon as they hang up, Ava's like trying to look to see if she can find who got called out for the evening.
Okay, so you see. Okay, so first, where are you going to look for that information?
Um, that's a good question.
A very easy place to find that information, I will let you know right now, is there is already supposed to be a Discord page dedicated to information about the Soundclash. So
Mhm.
if you go on Discord, you will see a large banner that says that at 5 o'clock this evening, they will be having a presentation of the first four teams for the quarter qualifier of this year's Soundclash. And that banner also says that those um, participating bands have already been notified.
Okay, so it's not us yet, but but she wants to see if she recognizes any names.
There are no names on the banner. The
Okay.
essentially this is telling people if you want to find out who's performing, you have to come to um where are we going? Aha, I know where we're going. So there is um an amphitheater outside the library that is like pretty central to your hex, like it's close to like the central square of the hex. um I mean, it's just called the library amphitheater. No one has ever thought about it more spectacularly than that. um and they're having their presentation at the library amphitheater at 3 o'clock. It is presently noon.
Hmm.
Well, minutes to noon.
Ava's gonna look over the texts that everyone has sent so far. 'Cause she's just been trying to like avoid that and look for like a space to practice. Um, and she sends like a bunch of thumbs down to Oliver's. Like, I hope no one gets put on ice, and then more thumbs down to like Nachmet's answer.
Okay. So while you
And
are while you are on Discord, I would like you to make a roll for me.
okay,
You are going to roll either observe or attune. You tell me which one you're more comfortable with.
I feel like Ava's really comfortable with uh the magic side of things. Even like she's the one that's like touching into it pretty physically.
Okay.
Um so I'm happy with doing it too.
And how many dots do you have in attune?
I have 2 dots in it too.
Okay. So you will roll a d12 or a d20 plus 4.
Alright.
Which
Let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and roll a d20 because I love putting myself in danger.
okay. So long as you know that that's the reason why.
Ooh, that's
Ooh.
bad. That's an 18. Nice strain.
Ugh. Ugh.
I mean, not too bad. I got a reverb point, but like, hey.
Okay, I'm sorry. Right. So you are. There's a moment when you respond to those texts where, like, just for the briefest of moments, yeah, like you're looking at your phone and you're actively typing, and then it feels like you're no longer looking at your phone. And then it feels like your phone is no longer in your hand. And then it feels like you're no longer in your apartment. It feels like you're in Dixon's apartment.
Oh no.
You look up and you can see the hallway that you previously entered that night and discovered, like, absolute mayhem. But you can tell that the body that you're in, that the eyes that you're looking through, aren't yours.
So this is what dissociation feels like. Okay, cool. I'm pretty sure I'm having a panic attack.
Is that an awareness that you would have at that moment? Like,
I feel like that's her first immediate like thought, like as she's trying to sort of like figure out what the hell's going on. She's like, "Am I panicking? Am I dissociating?"
okay. So while you are experiencing that, you look around, and it looks like nothing has changed for the most part. It looks like you are here, you are in this moment, in this scene, before all of the things that you have seen before. Or At the very least, in a space where none of these things have happened before.
Hmm.
You can't hear yourself, and you can't hear yourself think, but you can feel that you are incredibly panicked about something. And you reach for your phone, and you start dialing someone's number and then stop. Like you see 50562, and then you just like look at your phone, and then you put your phone away.
Okay.
And then you feel like you're still panicked, still frustrated, still confused and upset about something. But that you're just gonna put that aside for now, make that future use problem. And you walk towards the couch and you sit down. And you pour yourself like 2 fingers of whiskey from the bottle right next to your couch. And then you hear something go thud in your apartment. And you look up. And when you look up, you are back in your apartment. Your phone, like, very slightly goes flying out of your hand. Um, and you very quickly discover that you've returned to your normal self. You are still Ava. You are in Ava's apartment. Everything that you just saw was a vision or a dream or something.
I think instead of um telling them about the show that's gonna happen in a couple hours, she's gonna ask, "Do you think magic can give you precognition?"
Hmm. What a question.
You said, are you sorry? You saying this out loud, or you texted into the chat?
Oh, I texted that to the chat. I was
Yeah,
So there's immediately the dot 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 of Nahmat typing, followed by hypothetically. I mean, I haven't looked into it much, but I don't see why not. It's possible that there's, I mean, time is another dimension, and it's possible that magic warps dimensional entities. Interesting. Please hold.
I don't think the limitations of magic have been discovered yet. I mean, at most, it's not released to the public yet.
There's a pause.
Inquisitive
And
emoji.
yeah, there's a pause in the middle of it. Like, are you suggesting that their ability to do precognition is a thing that the government knows how to do? Because that is terrifying.
I've seen the movie.
well.
Oh yeah, that is. Are we? I always pictured this being kind of like significantly future. So what would be pop culture references of the outside of the universe now would be kind of like retro for setting, but maybe that's just headcanon.
Okay.
I mean,
While you are all like messaging very eagerly in Discord, all of you see a pop up on your phones that reads, "Reminder: Don't forget that you have a message from an unconfirmed friend in Discord!" Exclamation point.
Oh. Unconfirmed
Ava
friend
has
is
a
still waiting.
bad feeling about this.
Is this one of the apps where if you were to read it, it would say read underneath so that they know we read it?
Yes.
That it's
So
not
somewhere in
open.
Discord, there's an account that you didn't immediately get a forward notification from because they're not your friend, but they did send you a message.
How very Twitter. Yeah, I'll look at it.
Same.
Who is looking at it? Oliver said yes. Ava said yes. River is hesitant. Okay. So Oliver and Ava go to this other account. There's just like a string of numbers. Looks like this, like their profile picture is still like the default profile picture.
My phone's about to get a virus.
Um, and it says, um, "Dear performer, congratulations! You have been selected. Your band has been selected as one of the performers in the quarter qualifier of this year's Clash. We're having our premiere event this evening at 3 at the amphitheater, so everyone can get a sense of what the band's style is before you eventually perform in our round robin tournament. We hope to see you there. Regards, this awful digital scribble that you cannot make out the name of. It looks less like someone's handwriting and more like someone tried to angrily draw a star with a black sharpie. Um, so yeah, both of you see that your band has been selected for the Clash.
Well, a suspicious email says our band has been selected for the Clash, and Oliver knows better. As one of his direct abilities is, let me just make sure I've got this in the right place. One of my special attributes is my physical talent, and that I am innately talented at hacking. Let us IP address trace who sent this email, because if it's legit, fantastic. Oliver's really excited. If it's not legit, that's a very clever scam, and they would have to already know certain details about us to do this scam. So that's a thing to press.
Right.
I am happy to make a roll for that.
Oh no, I'm gonna give you this information for free because the people who send this message are not incredibly tech savvy. They just did the thing. It is a legit message from the same larger promotional company that Devlin works for. You can trace it like back physically to his building. So yeah, it is in fact legit. It's just shoddily written. A temp probably sent this email.
I think Oliver actually, rather than sending messages, group calls everybody, because this is actually more important for us to be a voice call.
Okay.
Everyone, we are in. We're in.
Are you in it? You're back in class?
Oliver is saying that we're to perform today at 3.
We got selected. We've entered the tournament for real. It's real now.
Perform at 3. We don't have anything prepared. We played together once.
I mean, more than once, and most of that improv, but to be honest, that's increasingly sounding like our sonic space at the moment, so...
Just to clarify, the message doesn't imply that you will be performing this evening. Just that you're supposed to show up so people can see who you are, so you can like wave and
Okay.
do the whole
Ava's
thing.
in full panic mode though, so
This
Ava's
is the
like,
information I've received. I haven't read the message.
Ahmed just responds, "That hasn't stopped us before."
Too true, Nagmat. I suppose if you were are in a position for wardrobe changes, if anybody is going to be doing that,
I'm gonna have to go home for sure.
I'm gonna have to wear a disguise. My coworker is going to be there.
Makeup or
Both
mask?
children.
You get a text from Ahmed. Makeup or mask? We can set up both.
Yeah, River, you know where the theatre department on campus is, right?
Of course. Can you get to the university campus? Or do you need to still be inconspicuous? From what I've seen, all you need is a baseball cap and some big sunglasses, and no one will know who you are.
Oh, where's your stage presence, River? Unless
we got
kind
tons
of
of
going
stuff in
for
the theater.
normcore is our vibe, but to be honest, I think
I'll scrounge something up for you, and we'll meet there to make
Oliver,
it a surprise.
Oliver, does anything about any of us scream normcore?
I mean, if we're going for baseball caps and sunglasses, I was going to say if that's the aesthetic we're going for, but it would kind of betray who I am deep down, I would say.
That's what I meant to get onto campus, but I also realized I can just grab something for you, Ava.
I mean, I'm an alumnus. I don't know why I wouldn't be able to get onto campus.
From what I've seen, it's apparently incredibly easy to get into almost anywhere on campus, even if you're not a student.
I mean, we got into a crime scene yesterday, and all it took was confidence.
We don't know if
Now,
these lines
now.
are secure.
Alarm starts sounding very loudly. No.
Ah!
Anyways, so about that precognition, Ava, why did you ask?
So I either had a panic attack, or I saw the apartment before the freezing happened, and it was like I was inhabiting someone, like through their eyes and feeling their emotions. But I was also not feeling that great before. So I don't know if it was magic or anxiety.
Well, the other day you had a halo to another world floating behind you, so I would say might as well go into this with an open mind.
How are your arms, by the way?
All right. Um. So Nakmat's arm is still like mostly translucent at this point because Nakmat has been through a lot the night that they went to find Dixon's body. Um, so I would say that roughly around the wrist is still translucent on your arm. Uh, but River's arm has more or less subsided at this point. It, if you really focus on it, it looks a little less opaque than it should be as a hand made out of meat. Um, but like from afar, it just looks like just it will somebody will just like briefly be worried that something is in their eye while they're looking at your arm. It just looks normal. Um, so yeah.
Almost back to normal. I don't even really need to wear gloves anymore.
Yeah, for the most part, it just looks a little faded upon close inspection. But no one will like be able to like I no one will ever ask you questions about it. They will just look very puzzlingly at you.
I mean, how often does someone even stare at someone else's hands?
I don't know. I mean, teenagers are strange, but like, I feel like regular people mostly look at your face.
Anyways, mine's mostly back to normal. What about you, Nachmat?
Um, I mean, it's working fine.
I was
That's
really
all that
worried about it.
matters.
I was worried like hitting the frets of my instruments would be impaired, but even when it was translucent, I don't think it did anything.
We can just pretend that the astral arms are part of our aesthetic. It'll be fine.
That's fair.
Oh, I
I'm
think
mostly
I
gonna
actually
be
have
in the
something in my
back.
wardrobe that could work with that. All right.
Okay. So I take it then that you're all going to get ready to meet back at some point.
Oh, absolutely.
Ava's actually gonna do some makeup or something, anything to make herself look like not herself.
Yeah, what color is your hair?
I think Ava has like a sort of like a mousy brown hair.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Because River's going to grab you a wig, and I'm imagining it for some reason being like really tall and voluminous.
I love it.
Beehive, let's go.
Yeah, beehive.
I dig it. Yes, please.
And yeah, and then your makeup should suffice, and then who would know?
Okay. Um. So is anyone else going to do anything else in particular before you all meet up just before 3 o'clock?
I would love to describe my outfit once I'm there, so I will keep myself to myself until we actually hit stage.
Yeah. Reverend
Okay.
General, yeah, goes home to change, grab an instrument or two.
All right. Nachmat, where are you?
Okay, so I was at the cafe eating breakfast, and then I got the
Mm-hmm.
text about precognition, so I started walking towards my research area to like look at my notes to see if anything was relevant. And then we got the text about the Soundclash. So I think I went back to my apartment to get changed.
Okay. So that means that we're all just immediately getting ready to go to the amphitheater for three.
I think what I do is I grab my outfit, take it, prepare it, like leave it in a bag with me, then go to my research area. Could I roll something to see about like what I might know about magic and precognition?
Yeah, there is obvious. I think that there is a thing that you can roll for that. I think if you want to do it the purely academic way, you can study. And
Yeah,
there's always a tune if you want to do that too.
I think for this study,
Okay, so you have one dot in study if I'm not mistaken.
I do in fact have one dot in study.
So you
So,
will roll a d12 or a d20 plus 2.
what is my position in effect? I'm remembering to ask this time.
Yes, your position is your position is risky,
Okay.
and your effect is great.
All right, let's do it. An 18, so that is, I believe, just over the threshold to become a strain.
Wow.
Nah.
Okay, this is delightful. So you get back to your lab, and you gather all of your notes together, and you are like referring to a series of like handwritten or typed notes that you had on some of the specific effects of um, like noise artifacts that you have noticed
Hmm.
in your private research long before you had ever met anybody here. Um, and there is a point as you're like flipping through these notes that you kind of like mutter aloud. Has precognition ever occurred in any of these tests?
Hmm.
And you hear a voice in your head say, um, as far as you recall, precognition has not occurred in any of your examinations or any of the examinations that you've referred to in your notes thus far, but it is not out of the ordinary.
Is this just a generic voice? Does it sound like my voice? Does it sound like a voice I recognize?
Um,
I just want to know what.
it sounds like it sounds like a voice you recognize. In fact, it sounds like the voice of a celebrity that you. It's not like you're fond or not fond of them. It's just like a voice that like you just immediately registered in your brain that is attached to a celebrity voice that you have heard before
Hmm.
regularly. Whose voice is it?
It's got to be like the like voice that is often used for like narrators, like the Morgan Freeman equivalent voice.
Mm-hmm.
Like whoever is just like the big film or whatever narrator celebrity, the one with like the somewhat soothing and immediately recognizable voice. You're like, ah, they're giving us exposition now.
Yeah, I like that. Okay, so yeah, so that's the voice that you hear when you ask that question aloud. And as they're finishing like saying that to you, you feel like something is building up in your right ear. You feel like it feels kind of like cabin pressure, but it also feels like actually genuinely solid.
Okay, so either the stress is getting to me or something's going on. Are you gonna respond, or was that just a one-time thing voice in my head?
I mean, you're still referring. This is the voice in your head going. I mean, you're still referring to me, so I might as well respond. But I'm not sure I can answer anything specific to that inquiry.
I feel like you gave me a perfect response there. Okay, good, good, good. Okay, so we're still 50-50 on the stress or magic. Honestly, what's the difference sometimes? Hey, voice, what is that? Pointed the like pressure that you were talking about. Or is that a feeling that I'm having? Sorry.
Um, it pauses for a moment and then it goes. Well, I think something is in your ear.
In my ear. Oh, good. Is it dangerous?
That I cannot tell until you investigate for yourself.
Great, cool.
Are you going to check?
Yes, yes. Um, do
Okay.
I hold up a mirror. Do I see anything?
Um, you see, like, very, visibly sticking out of your ear is another noise crystal.
Do I feel like pain or anything, or is it just blocking my
Oh
ear?
no, it doesn't feel like it's like stabbing you in the head or anything. It just feels like it is positioned as if like somebody had put it there, like somebody had just
Okay,
like rested it in your ear. But you know that that's not how it got there.
okay. Is it just, can I pull it out like an earplug, basically?
Yeah.
Yeah. If I pull it out, okay, so I pull it out, and go, all right, so are you still in my head once I get rid of this, or?
Um, that I cannot answer for you. I guess we'll figure that out when you put me down.
Oh, fun. Okay, you down. All right, I drop it down. Hi, can you still hear me now?
Nope, nothing.
All right, I pick it up again. How about now?
Nothing.
Good. Okay, cool, 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 cool. Fun stuff. Oh, look at the time. All right, we deal with this later. I gotta get changed for the concert.
Mm-hmm. This is the part where I remind you that mechanically that other noise crystal is a reverb point, so you now have
Yes.
two. Um,
I'll put it in my pocket as I head out.
okay. And then we just kind of fast forward to like a few minutes before 3. Are you all going to meet up at the amphitheater before the thing starts, I imagine?
Got to make sure we're all there at the same time, and we're probably all going to arrive at different times depending on how enthusiastic we are. So,
Uh-huh. So I will say then that it's roughly around quarter to 3.
mhm,
Um, you can see a small crowd forming on the other side of the amphitheater stage.
mhm.
Um, there are some like um, tech tents and stuff being put up on the stage side where you can see a single stage manager and a handful of stage hands very eagerly, very insistently running all around the place as if um, something has potentially gone wrong, as is the case with all of these presentations. Um, and then one of those stage hands um, comes up to Oliver, because I'm going to say
Mhm.
Oliver is probably already on the scene.
Oh yeah, Oliver got there pretty quickly. I think there's a shot of a bus pulling up because he travels by public transport, and as the doors kind of open, we get a low shot, so we only see the high top sneakers, midnight blue and gold, get off the bus and kind of like make its way to the stage. And this conversation kind of happens with Oliver and the person he's speaking to off camera, so we don't see what his full outfit looks like as he has the conversation.
Yes, so the frame is literally just this person just talking to you and we will just hear your voice, which is
Mm-hmm,
they look like an 18-year-old Justin Timberlake.
mm-hmm. Sure.
In like
Yeah, I got
all
that.
black stagehand garb, turns to you and says, I'm really sorry, but we're still waiting for like a handful of people. I just really need to find out if somebody knows something that I don't know. Do you know there's a band?
Uh-huh.
I think they refer to their circular. God, stage manager wrote it by hand. I think the band name starts with an A.
So he starts the sneaker starts tapping foot impatiently. Um yes, well that would be if no one else, if not us, then who? Um, and I, sorry, out of character. I'm big dumb and have forgotten the specific name we settled on because I'm smart. Can somebody like put it in the Zoom chat? We don't need to necessarily say it on air if we want to reveal it that way.
Yes. Um.
Got it. Yeah. Perfect. That's us right there. He says, put like the sound of finger hitting
Good.
clipboard.
So you're with them, okay? Can I, can I just ask you to make sure that the rest of your band is here and meet backstage for the official announcement? I just need to make sure that it's you and one other group of people, and I don't know anybody here, so I just want to make sure that we get this over with so it can be done by 4.
Well, I will hope they'll be here soon. And as Oliver turns away, they'd better be.
Okay.
As he pulls out his smartphone and starts to send a group message of where you at to everybody.
And I imagine then that everybody is about to gather just like a couple of seconds apart each. So who meets with Oliver first?
There's parking.
There essentially you can park on the on either side of one corner of the street on the other side of the library and just walk towards the amphitheater.
Cool. Well, River can be next. She shows up with an electric guitar in her usual fiddle case.
Nice.
She didn't respond to your text because one does not text and drive. That would be unsafe.
Very, very reasonable.
Nice.
Oh, you're here, River.
Yep. Did you sign us in?
Yep. They forgot our band name, but then I suppose it is an unusual one.
For the record, River is wearing like kind of like overalls, except they're like just made of cloth and they're black, and it's like half pants or capris cut off at that point, and then she's wearing some like strappy black heels, and her hair is down and she waved it so that it's nice and long and green. I have like green highlights. Her hair's been green this whole time, by the way. And she's wearing like kind of like a jean jacket.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
I
nice
love it.
shoes.
And then she has also like a box which has got a wig in it.
Oh, that must be for
Yep, for Ava. Bob? For Bob.
Yeah, there we go. Yes.
Speaking of Bob, I guess this is the point where Ava finally arrives.
Yeah, Ava is walking up in like a leather jacket and leather pants
Yes.
with like some some like combat boots. And she's got like she's like hiding her face, and she's rolling her drum case because she's still thinking that they're gonna have to perform. So she has like a big box she's rolling, and she's just like trying to hide her face. As she's like running up, and she's like, do you have a thing? Do you
Toss. And you don't catch it, and River
In fact,
realizes
no,
way
roll-
too late.
I wanna
way.
roll to see. I wanna roll to see how this goes. I want Riva and
yes.
Ava to both give me a D2014 roll.
I hope I strain. It would be my turn. Nope, it's a 1.
Nice. Yes. So River tries to throw um the wig, and it just doesn't go airborne. It just thuds to the ground immediately right in front of you. But you respond quickly enough to just like grab it up off the ground.
That's great.
Were you, Bob? River looks over at Oliver with the, yeah, I did it.
Indeed.
Oh, is that the name that I'm gonna use?
Well, I didn't register you as that. I was kind of well, it was more dramatic to say that one of our band members only went by X, because the theming and
Really cool, actually. Wow.
So I went with that. I figured that would be inoffensive enough. But I'm glad you're a fan. I'm glad you're a fan.
Yeah.
At this point, Nagmet like rushes in, like grab like half putting on a jacket as they burst through the door into the spot and like collect themselves. She steps forward. Sorry, I'm late. The magical voice in my head didn't tell me how late it had gotten.
Okay.
Do we need to read into that?
I'm gonna assume this actually has to do with like actual magic, and like Ava's like putting like stuffing her hair up into like a wig cap and like trying to get
Uh,
on.
As Eva says that, Nagmet just nods. I'm also going with that same assumption because the ever situation is not a reality I want to confront right now.
Just then, the stagehand that previously spoke to Oliver comes back to you and goes, "So this is everyone? Yeah?
That's all of us.
Okay,
The band is here and ready.
right. Come with me." And they'd lead you further backstage. Um, you can see that there are like a portion of backstage has been further apportioned into four separate like seating arrangements, and you can see that there are other people sitting in some of the other spaces, but you can't see them past the like black cloth barriers that they've put up between your space and theirs. Um, and they just direct you to sit down and go.
Bless you.
So Devlin and some other folks will make some general announcements about the clash, about how much money you're going to win, about blah 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 entertainment bullcrap. You know how this thing goes. And if you don't know how this thing goes, I'm sorry that you're in this predicament. But in any case, then they will call each band by name, and you will appear and just like wave and do your thing, and they'll ask you some like entertainmenty questions about why you're doing this and what you hope to accomplish with your sound, blah blah, that kind of game. And then we should be done by 5. Well, by 4. Um, we were supposed to have a performance, and I think it got cancelled, but that's fine. Um, so yeah, you just sit here, and we will get back to you as soon as we can. Okay. Me or another stagehand will be on to let you know when you're on in 30 seconds. That's fine. I think your name's going up first, but yes, we will let you know. And then they put their hand on their headset as if they're getting a message very eagerly from the stage manager, and they head off. And before you are 4 empty, like black plastic chairs, very like cheap looking black plastic chairs.
If they ask us why we're doing this, what do we say?
I think Oliver's kind of like sat in his black plastic chair, is leaning back oh so slightly, with his legs crossed, and he's grinning like a maniac. He is already having the most fun. We just tell them we're doing it for the love of the art.
Not because we can win.
Oh, absolutely, that too. But if you're winning and you're not having fun, then are you really winning?
Oh, we just figured they, ought to have some interest in competition this time.
Ooh, you're going for the feisty route. I dig that. Interesting.
I'm
Also,
kind of
nice
tempted
haircut, by the
like
way.
you.
I say to Eva.
I. It's definitely a look that I'm really grateful for, River.
It's bright orange.
Oh my god.
Bright orange
Uh,
beehive.
A
Musician
bright orange
X.
beehive, leather
I
jacket,
so
I
leather
figured you
pants.
wanted something that would like detract from your face as much as possible. You don't want to be recognized, right?
let,
You won't be seen as the
Exactly.
teacher. You'll be seen as the one in the orange beehive.
let me repeat that. I'm sorry. Nice haircut, Velma.
I mean, we are definitely getting some kind of like grunge rock Amy Winehouse vibes here, and I do not hate it. Like,
Well,
which
you're the one
actually is a thing I
who
think Oliver would say in character, honestly. So
you're the one who gathered us, Ava. Why did you do it?
Um, Honestly, we all went through something really strange together, and I just thought it'd be nice to not just leave us all in the lurch alone after we went through something together. So, my regular answer, community, I guess.
ooh. Oh, they do love a band with a background with like a shared trauma and recovery therein. That's a great line to give them.
That gets you usually through at least round one or the screen time for the audition.
Wow, you are all making me really sad thinking about that.
At that immediate moment, all of you get a ping on your phone.
Hmm. Indeed.
It's a message on Discord from Ace Fan. It just says, "Good luck. I know you're going to. I know you're going to destroy the competition." Um, and sign of the horns emoji.
I don't know who this person is.
Don't look a well-wisher in the mouth. We'll need as many of those as we can get.
They
um,
keep saying they know stuff, and I don't like it when I don't know why people know stuff.
River, um, big fans of musicians can be very interesting and intense people.
I'm not looking for trouble.
Neither am I. Neither am I. But unfortunately, fans will do what they wilt.
Fine.
Welcome to
Hell.
stardom, baby. Do we get the? We're up first, aren't we?
Yes. Everyone will be all of everyone will be announced all at once, but yes.
Mm-hmm.
Um at that precise moment, you hear like microphone feedback, and you hear on the other end that somebody has come to the microphone on the stage behind in front of where you're all sitting, and greets the audience with the usual platitudes, and uh you can tell that this is like a very young, inexperienced voice, like someone in their 20s who's just been
Mm-hmm.
asked to like introduce a thing and has no idea what's happening, and is hesitating a lot and is very confused as to who is here and what their names are. And then very briefly, you hear him get cut off very loudly by someone who's shouting on the right side, and
Oh boy.
then a very familiar voice takes the mic afterwards. It's Devlin, and his very first words to the crowd is, "How's everyone doing this evening?" And everybody starts cheering. You know
Ooh.
me, so I don't need to introduce myself. And you all know why we're here. We're here because someone in this hex is about to be very, very rich. We're here because there is a handful of talented performers right here in these clefts who is about to make a name for themselves, make a name for their neighborhood, and make a lot of money making a lot of very beautiful music. And we are all here to find out who they are and which one of them will finally rise to the top in this year's Clash. Are you excited to find out who those people are gonna be? Even more cheering. Like it the where you're sitting, the cheering kind of rises to the kind of crescendo that makes you feel like you're no longer hearing people anymore. You're just hearing like this loud crashing wave of sound on the other end. And as that happens, you see a stagehand like slide on the heels of their loafers all the way to the edge of the backstage area and collide with the wall face first. And then they just kind of like put their hands in front of them like, okay, am I where I'm supposed to be? And they turn towards you all and say, 30 seconds. And then slide the next way at top speed.
Are they on fucking Heelys? Like, I don't...
Oh no, that's like just like ordinary dress shoes with the heels so polished by wear that they just turn clean flat.
I got you. I got you.
And yeah, he's giving you a signal that you're gonna be up in 30 seconds. And you can hear like the dazed voice of that same person spreading that same message further down the backstage area. And then you hear Devlin say, the first band that's going to be contending for $1 million is, and like there is this kind of artificial drum roll somewhere in the audience. A cordial eclectic, and everybody starts cheering, and there is a beat. And then the stagehand that you previously saw slides back. Is like, what are you doing? Let's go.
Oh no! Oliver's waiting immediately by the wings. He's absolutely ready. Absolutely ready.
So you all walk out on stage.
Yep.
Everybody is cheering very loudly for you. It sounds like a very unreal sound.
Is there already a mic on stage?
Yeah, where's
yes.
like Ava's drums?
Oh no, there are no spaces for like anybody's instruments. So everybody's just supposed to do essentially a meet and greet at this point.
Oh yeah, but we're making an entrance here. Is the thing. So the previously undescribed outfit as Oliver Hoshizora steps onto stage. He is wearing a bomber jacket where the material is actually kind of like a sheer, like a organdy or similar kind of material with a kind of like dark blue purple sheen. And underneath, he is wearing a dress shirt that is jet black with constellations all over it that you can see pinpointed through the translucent bomber, and embroidered across the back shoulder blades in gold thread is Ophiuchus, as he walks over to the microphone at his waist or at his hip, because he works in experimental like music tech and synthesizers, is what looks like a MIDI fighter controller, if you know Sean Wasabi, for example. That kind of like 16 buttons, glowy, and there's like a reel attached to it, which he pulls out, a long tube, which he then puts in the side of his mouth, goes over to the microphone, and while hitting buttons on the MIDI fighter to adjust the kind of like the tone of it, goes, "We are a cordial electric," and just kind of like making the biggest entrance show we can as we possibly can. All or nothing.
That's so fucking awesome.
I want you and one other person that can be any one of you to give me an attune roll.
Absolutely. Let's
Um,
see.
your position will both be risky,
Okay.
and your effect will be great.
Well, I have 2 points in attune, so I'll be rolling this at a +4. So I will be sensible and only roll a d12. I am not interested in straining currently.
Okay. Has anyone else decided that they will also be rolling?
Sure. I haven't
Okay.
strained yet, though I will say that between this session and the last session, I've rolled about 4 ones.
I believe
So,
in you. I believe in you.
let's
I believe in your
try
I
ability to
have
roll a
faith
fifth
in
one.
you. I have faith in you.
I
I
have faith in your
also
ability
have
to roll a fifth
2
one. Yeah.
in a tune, so it would make sense to do a d12. Let's find
Okay.
out.
I'm wondering if there's any side effects of my hums or special attributes that I want to invoke here, and I don't think at this time. This time we're doing it straight up and down. So 1d12 +4. Let's party.
Actually, does this count as a group action?
Yes.
Okay. Well, then we should both. Well, you already. No, you haven't rolled it yet. We should both do d20s because when I join in on group actions, straining rolls have no adverse effects.
Nice.
Okay, well, I stand corrected. We are rolling the 1d20 +4. This is indeed all
Wow,
or
look, a
nothing.
1! What the heck?
Oh no!
I called it. What did I
Oh
say?
no!
I
That was a
said
d20 and it's a 1!
Is there
I
any
already yelled about
modifier?
the.
Is there any modifiers to that d20? What's your points in the team?
+4. Which
Right, so
is,
it's
It's a 5.
It's a
It's still a
5.
partial success. You don't.
Actually, what does Moxie do?
Um, Moxie, let's refer to the rules again.
ooh, we're using rules in this game.
It's been a while since I've had to refer to Moxie. Please tell me that Moxie actually made it to the PDF.
Bringing down the game with some rules. Let's go.
Nah, it's all good. This is the tense moment. This is just building the tension.
Nathan, do you have the doc open?
Yes, I do. Moxie is a resource that represents the accumulation of good luck, weird circumstances, and da-da-da-da-da. Any bandmate can spend Moxie on an action roll to add +2 to their roll, and only 1 point of Moxie can be spent this way.
I have 2 points of Moxie according to my sheet, so I'm going to spend 1.
Yes.
So now it's 7. Does that increase it from the 5
It's
it once
still
was?
within the minor success range, unfortunately. It doesn't push
Okay,
it
well
to the
then I
next
don't
tier.
spend any Moxie.
However, I'm yet to also... Oh, sorry, do we want to resolve that one first, or shall I roll?
No, you roll.
Okay, 1d20 +4, let's go. It's fine. They're in the realms of a full success, so we take those at 11.
Okay, so so what happens is, because like this is me totally not having planned a cool moment for you all at this point. Is that you as you come up on stage and you you outdo yourself in showmanship in this moment. The very corners of the stage, like the two frontmost corners of the stage, burst in purple and white pyrotechnics. But like at some point, like just before they get like shoulder height as they're rising up, they just kind of fizzle out and fade away. But it was still cool enough to get the audience to cheer for you. So you did the thing. You impressed them, and that's all that matters.
Oliver's eyes are glittering like stars as he kind of stares out towards the audience, and then I'm assuming this is kind of like a mic on a stand. Because Nakmat has the melody, and I guess would therefore be the lead in terms of how our band composition works. Mic in one hand, flip catch gives over to Nakmat.
Beautiful. And I think Nagma will like. So are you flip catching it and like handing it over, or are you flipping it to
Yeah.
me? Yeah,
Flip catch in one hand and then offer it over to you. Because
perfect.
trying to throw it across the stage and dropping a mic would be bad. So
Fair.
we're gonna.
I feel like we gotta take risks. No, it's fine. Nagma will like grab it with their hand and like twirl it between their fingers as they like bring it up to their mouth to speak. Uh what to even say here?
We technically shouldn't be saying anything, but we play by our own rules, huh?
Uh-huh.
Um,
Uh
just
so
as
Nagma,
you make to say something,
oh god.
you see, like Devlin is staring daggers at you, and you can hear him mouth out, like away from the range of the microphone that is still in his hand. He goes, "I know this is your moment and everything, but we still have a show to do. Let me introduce everybody else."
Uh Nagmat smiles and like gives a wink. Uh and well, now that he's said that, Nagmat turns around to the crowd with the microphone. Ah, I know you all come here for a show every year. Well, I'll keep this brief. We're here to make sure this year you actually get one with some real competition.
Like
Ah,
big uproar from the crowd.
And I will toss the mic in Devlin's direction. I don't care if he catches it or not. It just like throw it backward over my head to give him.
no,
Give me a D12 fortune roll.
catch it.
Okay.
Please roll big. Please roll big.
11.
11. You hit Devlin square in the eye.
Oh my god. Dude. Oh my gosh.
I don't look back. I don't know what happened.
Ah!
I just start walking in whichever direction we're supposed to be walking.
Like it hits him like the square in the socket, and like he's briefly confused, and he still manages to somehow catch it as it starts falling away from his face. But he's like he looks less like somebody who has just been hit with a solid object, and more like he's been falling out of the sky for several minutes and is trying to regain perfect composure, and like he's like straightening out his shirt and stuff like that, and then he just turns to the audience as if nothing has happened.
That composure.
Size like out of earshot of the microphone, but you can all hear it very loudly. And then he goes, next up in this year's Soundclash, a new group of young people eager to make a name for themselves out here in the clefts. Let's introduce Noah Get the Boat. And you see a group of three teenagers dressed in like baggy bomber jackets and like distressed jeans. They're wearing sneakers that look like way too big for them. They look like they're a rap group that is trying very hard to telegraph themselves as a rap group. And they get out on stage and do a like really intense, very sudden dance routine that actually looks really, really good. It's actually kind of dope. And that it ends with them like bowing towards the crowd, and the crowd like pops for them as well. And Devlin like waits a moment to see if they're going to do anything else, and then goes back to the mic and goes, next up, you know we love our pop groups in these year's clashes, and we have two very special ones for us this year. First up, coming all with performers all the way from this group's own high school. Let's introduce Stella and the horoscopes. And you see, coming from backstage, um, five teenage girls. Ava, you immediately recognize every single one of them. Not all of them are in your class or in your homeroom, but you know that you have seen each one of these girls in school, and they are in. Hmm. They're wearing um what look like ball gowns, but like depending on the way that the light hits it, it starts like shifting from very strong iridescent black and blue and green and purple and red to totally see through and all the way back.
It was about to have a heart attack.
And um they like they turn to the audience and do like your typical kind of idol girl group kind of mini dance routine and then bow. And as they're bowing, you can see Ava. In fact, Ava, give me an observe roll. Your position is desperate. Please mark XP as noted. And your effect is great, yes. How many dots do you have in observe? One.
I have 1 dot in observe, and I just rolled a minor success.
Okay, a minor success. You so you're watching this and you're like in utter shock. So you almost miss, but you can still like perceptively notice that one of like as they're bowing, one of the girls just nudged one of the other ones. And then when they get up, you can see that those two girls seem immediately very shy. When they got on stage, they were very eager to be here, and now suddenly something seems to be on their mind. I wonder what. Um, and last but not least, a very last minute entrance to this year's clash, but pop nevertheless. So we're very eager to see what they have to offer to this year's competition. We know nothing about them except for what they've put on their forms. The fourth band for this year's quarter qualifier for the Soundclash is Weirder. And as soon as the word leaves his mouth, you hear like everyone can hear this like very loud kind of popping sound that seems to like start from backstage and kind of roll through the entire space until it like collides with the audience and starts like increasing in volume and increasing in intensity, and then it stops and Devlin turns to like one of the stage hands that are like immediately available at the corner of the stage and goes, "What was that?" And then there's this other big popping noise and a large plume of white smoke appears on stage. If anyone wants to see through this plume of smoke before it dissipates, you can give me a roll to do that right now. Ava, does anyone else care to observe what's happening?
Let's take this one.
Okay.
Is this a magical effect? Because that will change depending. That will affect what abilities I will be using here.
Um, you immediately suspect that this is magical in nature. Yes.
Okay, fantastic. Then I will be doing two things in addition to helping Eva. I'll be using my hum. Once each performance, I must push myself to increase another bandmate's roll by 1 level. And I will also be using the studious special attribute, gain +2 to gather the information on magical anomalies.
Okay. Um, so will you be rolling study then?
I mean, I admit it is much of a muchness because I have points in neither of them. But the goal is specifically to make sure that I help Eva in the
Fair enough.
pursuit.
Yes.
Pushing myself is taking 2 stress, right?
Yes.
Fantastic. So I'll let Eva resolve her roll first. Before I
Okay.
get into the
So
medicine.
what will you
Ava's
be
using
rolling?
magic to.
Okay, so you're
see
going to
through magic.
attune.
Yeah.
Duly noted. If you
And I gotta. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
if you attune, your position is desperate, and your effect is your effect is limited.
Okay. Well, I did a D12 roll. I got 12, which means that with Oliver's hum, that would be a stunning success, correct?
It would. Um. Okay. This is delightful. Um. When that plume of smoke initially bursts on stage, you are like briefly taken aback, and then when you open your eyes again, you can see the stage as if it's not really impairing your vision as much as it's perhaps impairing everyone else's. You see Devlin inaudibly freaking out. You see all of the other performers on stage just looking around like, what's this shit all about? And then behind Stella and the horoscopes, you see four figures clad in black robes. Well, black to navy blue robes. With strange markings all across the cloth of their robes and all across the veils that are covering their faces. Just like the ones that you would have seen, uh, just like the vision that you would have seen in Dixon's apartment when you had arrived the first time. They step forward through Stellandi horoscopes, not as if they're like brushing past them, but as if they're walking exactly through their bodies.
I think Ava is just gonna like grab whoever's closest to her. Be like, ghosts. They're ghosts. There are ghosts here. Like she's trying to keep her voice down, but she's like panicking. She's like, they're ghosts.
I had a voice in my head. If you're there, can you answer whether or not these are ghosts?
Nope, nothing. Ava,
Oh.
give me a give me a D12 fortune roll.
Okay. Should Oliver also be doing whatever?
I mean, at this point, it feels kind of superfluous narratively for me to make a roll to see the same thing. So I'm happy to forego my role to let this be your spotlight moment. Don't worry about it.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure we don't skip over things. And that's an 11 out of a D12.
Okay.
You're taking my rolls.
An 11 is good. An 11 is better than the alternative. You notice Um, one of the one of those bandmates that is standing closest to you all turns their head just slightly, as if they were trying to see if something was happening behind them, but they're not facing you. They just turn just a little bit. And then they just shrug it off and continue facing forward. And the figure that is standing next to them snaps their fingers, and all of the smoke starts like swirling in a small whirlwind that is at the that finds its center at the tip of their snapped fingers and starts like disappearing into their hand and is totally gone.
Can River be backing away from all this nonsense?
I mean, yes, you can. A couple of other people are also very visibly stepping away. Um, and then the figure that is standing to the left of them snaps their fingers, and Devlin's mic disappears from his hand and reappears in their hand. And they pass it to the right, to the figure who had just taken away all the smoke. And they bring it towards their face and they go, "We are weirder." And everybody just suddenly starts caring for them. Like, this evening the audience has been increasing in intensity every time they meet someone, and this is now to the point where you genuinely believe that everyone in this audience needs to put an ice pack on their throat after they're done screaming this evening, because this is a lot. It sounds for a moment like these cannot be the sounds of human beings cheering. Like, that is how intense it is at this moment. And then the figure puts their hand up and everybody stops. And they say, "We are here for more than money. We are here for what we are owed. And you will know us and love us, and the frequency will live on." And then they throw the mic into the air, and the mic pops into this like plume of like black powder. And then they just turn and face Devlin in like one fluid, perfect motion. All of them just like turn towards Devlin. Devlin is
Who's
still
no longer mic'd.
is no longer mic'd. He's still looking up at the burst of powder in the air, and then turns to face them. Is like, whoa! Steps back, nearly trips on himself. Like is like grabbing behind him for like trying to signal for a stagehand to like give him a mic. Someone let him know like what's happening. A stagehand just puts another mic in his hand, and he just immediately straightens up again, eyes still wide with confusion, but the rest of him seems perfectly composed. And he's like, "Well, those are the performers that we have for this year's Soundclash."
Yay.
He freezes for a moment in absolute confusion. You can hear him blinking. And then he goes, "That was quite a show. You mind telling us what this Soundclash means to you?" And he puts the mic in front of the nearest member of Weda that is like immediately looking at him. And they say, "It means nothing." And that's it. He just takes the mic back and goes, "Okay. Duly noted."
They're using the email ban sheet.
Oh, we will get to that eventually. Um, how about Stella and the horoscopes. You mind telling us what decided to get you into music after while you were still in high school? Um, and like he's like he puts an arm around the crook of the elbow of one of the bandmates. Like, can you just like please help me? Like puts the mic in front of them, and the girl goes, "Oh, I'm not Stella," and puts the mic in front of one of the other girls. And she goes, "Well, you know, showbiz is something that everybody dreams about, right? But I guess what I'm really hoping for is," and you see her very briefly, kind like decisively lock eyes with Ava, and she doesn't seem like very confused or afraid at this point. She seems more resolute when she continues to say, "I guess what I'm hoping for is for young girls like me to have a role model that isn't about being pretty or having all of the nice things, but just about making things that matter and reminding them that they matter and that they don't need to be anything or do anything to gain anyone's approval. They just need to rock out and be their authentic self." And like you can hear in particular that there is a band of people in the audience that is cheering even more intensely for them. And when you turn to them, they're all other kids from school. And behind them is Miss Hopkins, who is like squinting at you, Ava, but like doesn't seem to have made any conclusions yet.
I'm gonna turn real quick and like do a polite clap. So Hopkins is I'm staring her down. Like I know you know, and I know that we know, but we're not gonna say anything. And I'm gonna clap for you right now, but we're not saying anything.
I really enjoy that this teenager, like in 3 seconds, saw through this disguise. It's just kind of like, that's very good.
Can't fool teenagers. I'm very sorry.
Teenagers are very observant.
Yes. And then Devlin is just like briefly taken aback, and then shrugs, and then steps very awkwardly behind Stella and the horoscopes as to avoid the eyes of Wada, who are still like eagerly very turning very consistently to always be facing him directly, to the point where their back is turned to the audience now. And then he steps over to Noah get the boat, and he puts his arm on the shoulder of one of the members of the band and goes, "So, about that name," and this 18, 19-year-old ish young man goes, "Well, we make all kinds of music, but we make music for people who feel like things have gone so weird and strange that sometimes the music has to be weird and strange too. So it's rap plus. We got the rhymes, but we'll always bring something extra. And we'll always remind people that sometimes things are a little off, but you find your way to survive." And Devlin kind of nods and says, "That makes sense. Yeah, I'm very eager to hear someone bring some rap to the Clash. For a while, we haven't heard some very good hip hop in ages in these clashes. Do you think that you got what it takes?" I mean, we'll see. We've been studying some of the greats, so I hope you look out for us in the CS Clash, folks. And everybody starts cheering. And then Devlin comes back all the way up to you and pauses for a moment And I want Ava to give me a D20 fortune roll.
Stop picking on me.
It's just like such perfect. It's just such a perfect moment that I cannot resist. I'm sorry.
That's fair. That's an 8. I don't know what that means.
Okay, okay. So Devlin looks at you very intensely, as if he's trying to like figure something out, but he hasn't figured it out. And he frowns a little bit, and then turns to Nakmat and goes, "What what brought you four together to start making the kind of music that you're making? I see on the sheet that it says other. What what kind of music do you make? What what brought you folks together making music?"
Is this being asked anyone in particular, or can anyone answer?
He's looking at you in particular.
Perfect. That's fine. I have an answer. You know, sometimes music just happens, and you have to chase it. And when you chase it, you find something that speaks to you, something that sounds better than anything you've heard before. And when you hear it once, you can't unhear it. That's what it's like when we played. And that's what you will all hear when you get to hear us play. That's why we make music. Because music like that shouldn't just exist once.
Well said. And I look forward to hearing what you have to offer for this year's clash. And he turns to the audience and goes, "So there you have it, everyone. This year's quarter qualifiers are before you now. We will give you the dates for our first clash very soon, but until then, I hope you look forward to hearing each and every one of these voices rock out. The next time you see these folks touch a stage, it's gonna be knockdown, drag out. It's gonna be for 1,000,000 credits, and it's gonna be for the sake of this here hex. So you can let the folks know what this hex sounds like, what this hex means, what this hex loves, so no one can ever forget you all again. What say you?" And everybody starts cheering. And
Again.
at the sound of that cheer, um, Weda starts stepping forward towards Devlin. And each of you can hear very, like, strangely in the, like, as if it's being layered onto the otherwise natural sound that you're hearing in this space already. You can hear what sounds like someone's voice whispering, but as if it's whispering very, very close to you. And you can't make out what they're saying, but you can hear it very decisively. And as you notice, on stage, everyone else that is on stage seems to hear it because they're looking around and wondering where it's coming from. Even one of the stagehands that is visibly on stage is like awkwardly looking at some of the audio equipment, wondering if it's coming from them.
Mhm.
And the band members of Weda keep walking toward Devlin, and Devlin just like looking at them like, what's this all about?
So, because we are very cognizant of what is probably about to happen if we let this continue, because they clearly do not care and will absolutely murder a person on stage in front of everyone. So Oliver, Oliver steps, because Devlin's already kind of has walked over to where we are, right? so
Yeah,
that
he's
he's
like,
already nearby us.
yeah.
Oliver looks at the rest of you and makes eye contact with each of you and then turns away from you and walks towards and past Devlin, standing between Devlin and Weirder, and proffers out a hand. It's going to be absolutely fantastic performing with you. And his eyes are not sparkling like stars. They are empty and black like the deep vastness of space.
So the figure in front of you pauses, very suddenly.
Mm-hmm.
You can't see their face, but you can tell that they're looking at you very intensely. You can just feel that they're
Oh yeah,
staring
they're
daggers
big
at you.
staring at each other.
Mm-hmm. And they take your hand and they go, "You're right. I can only hope that all of us are here for the right reasons." And they give your hand one very firm shake.
Mm-hmm.
And I need you to give me a D20 fortune roll.
Absolutely. I'm going to say the line and then do the roll because I think it's more interesting that way. So yeah, it's like him saying kind of like we're here for the right reasons, and it's like, and if we don't know what the reasons are, what if you don't know what the reason is? I'm sure you'll find the answer written in the stars. 18.
I love it. Very briefly, your hand feels otherworldly cold.
Mm-hmm.
Just for like a fraction of a second, it feels like your entire hand all the way down to your wrist has like been dipped in liquid nitrogen, like
Mm-hmm.
vast kinds of cold that that you have never just suddenly experienced at any point in your life. And then it just like your will at that moment fights it off so perfectly that instead what seems to happen is excuse me, you feel this kind of pop in between your hand and their hand, and snow suddenly starts falling above both of your heads.
Mm-hmm.
And Devlin is just like, what? And then suddenly decides, you know what? Like he snaps his fingers, literally snaps his fingers, and then um, brings his mic back to his face and goes, "You saw it right here, folks. It's gonna be one killing competition. See you all next week." And then he puts his hands up and everybody starts cheering, and then he immediately starts signaling to stagehands backstage, "Wrap it up. We are getting
these
all the
MFs
way
off
out
our
of here.
stage."
This is a lot. Somebody get me back to my apartment pronto." And he's already stepping off stage. Everybody else is like utterly baffled. Ava, you very briefly notice that two of the girls from Stella and the Horoscopes look at you, like, expectantly, and then the rest of the band is just, like, ushering them to go, and they just step off stage in the other direction. Um, the rappers all, like, essentially just walk off. They just, like, dance off stage. They just leave. They're just eager to no longer be here. They're gone. The majority of the crowd is already fading away, except for some of the other high schoolers you can see are very eagerly waving to the rest of Stella and the Horoscopes as if to get their attention. So they're probably going to meet up at some point as well. You can see that Miss Hopkins is still looking at Ava, still trying to Is it? I don't know. So right now on stage it's just you and Dweda. And then um the figure in front of Oliver lets go and goes, "You're good at stagecraft. I've learned that means that I shouldn't trust you." And then they all just snap their fingers and disappear.
Uh-huh.
They just kind of fade away into like what looks like paper cutouts of butterflies. They just kind of fade away.
As Oliver turns back round to kind of like and walks back to the three of you, the stars have not returned to his eyes, but boy, you have never seen him smile wider.
Oliver, you just shook hands with somebody that probably murdered someone.
Oh, I love performing. Gosh. Is this the thrill that we can feel every time that we hit the stage? That we truly harmonize? Oh, oh, I look forward to all the music we make together. This is going to be absolutely stellar.
River
When
looks
you
at
say
Ava in
absolutely stellar.
extreme concern.
Yeah, no, Ava's like sharing this look with River, and it's just like, what do we...
Wait, when
And
you
then-
say absolutely stellar, Nagmat will hold up her arm a little, like in the direction of Oliver.
Yeah, like he makes eye contact with you, and his smile does not fade. He is
He's
having
also grinning.
We're having the time of our life. I think this is like the first time that we have mutually connected over this particular, like we've hit the same tone on how we're handling the situation. So yeah, you can tell that Oliver's smile is genuine. Nakmat, can Oliver tell that your smile is genuine?
Oh yeah, Nagmat's smile.
Considering the relationship we've had about how we are and how we perform in front of people.
Maybe we should get off the stage.
I don't know if Oliver can tell. It is genuine. I'll leave that up to Oliver to decide whether or not he can tell.
Okay. That's fine. I can work with that.
Okay.
And yeah, we make a way off stage.
Yeah. So like the very last like scene, the how we fade out of that scene is the camera glancing at Oliver's like very eager laughter, and then turning just a little bit upwards and away towards Nakmat's hand raised into the air. As you can still see some specks of snowflakes fluttering behind it. And behind that is the just before dusk visibility of the waning moon in the background, all being captured through the lens of Nakmat's hand. And then off screen, you hear a very timid stagehand's voice say, "You know you can get off stage now, right?" And credits.
Nice. Fucking snap.
Wow.
Yes.
So I wanted to do all of those things for a while. So yeah. The clash starts very soon. One of the very next things that you'll be doing in your next session is actually performing in musical combat. So I will be going over some of those things with you in terms of how you perform clashes in advance of our next session. Also, how do you feel about your competition?
I can already see the emotional arc that will emerge of Eclectic versus Stella. That is going to be a whole time.
Oh yeah, it's
People
gonna be
will
lovely.
learn things about themselves and others, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
River just wanted to play music. Didn't want to deal with crime.
I mean,
Weird.
the first time you all ever met, you all had an interaction with the police. You didn't think that dealing with crime was going to be. You broke into. But
She
yes,
just wants to play music. She doesn't want to deal with crime. Just because the police is there, it doesn't mean that she wants to do crime. It's their fault.
fair enough.
River's being
Yes.
dragged along with the flow.
Yeah.
Ha 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 ha.
River. I'm sorry.
So yes.
Going
Just ready
along
for
with
all
it.
the puns I can make off of the name Weirda. Like,
So I will. I will. I can't remember if I had spelled it before. That's Weirder.
Hmm.
So yeah. Um. Things are going to be happening very soon. We're going to get in some musical combat. We're going to have lots of very intense conversations about murder, I guess. There might be an after school special somewhere in between. But yes, I'm very eager to see you all actually do some of the musical things that uh, your crew sheet and your band sheet and your individual role sheet have to offer. Um, this will be the first time that I'm actually seeing what it would look like in play, so I'm very eager to um, hear your thoughts about it afterward as well. Um, and yeah, that's pretty much everything for this evening's session of Soundclash the Clampdown. How does everyone feel?
Oh, baby. That was very exciting. I had a
Excited.
fun time.
Yeah.
Nice. So with that, we should probably begin to wrap up. So I will ask you all to reintroduce yourselves to the audience by telling everyone who you are, what you do, and where they can find more of you and your work. Starting with Vale.
Hi guys, I'm Vale. I use he and they pronouns. You can find me on Twitch, not Twitch, Twitter. This is TWI sound. On Twitter at Villain Vicencio. You can find a mass playbook that I've written that has to do with Venom, Blue Beetle type heroes. If you want to play with that on my itch, which is at itch.io /Villain Vicencio. And I'm gonna be coming out with a little expansion for the honors soon with a couple more games, so that should be coming out soon. And yeah, that's me.
Nice. Next, Nathan.
Hello, hello. I am an ancient song that echoes throughout space. Nathan Blades, thank you so much for having me on your show. You can find me at the Neon Caster on Twitch, where we stream both tabletop RPGs and a variety of video games. This month is actually going to be really, really busy because we have, at the end of the month, I think technically the 3rd of April, a one-shot of the system Net Battlers, Galaxy Galleria inspired by Vaporwave and Y2K. Coming up with some fantastic players. But I also have next week off work, so I'm going to be doing a lot of streaming next week. You're definitely going to be seeing a playthrough of the oh gosh, I've forgotten all the things that I'm doing. You can tell it's late. Give me a second. Session scheduling. There we go. We have the demo for Neurodiver that I'll be playing through, the sequel to Read Only Memories, as well as the demo of Dramatical Murder, and playing a variety of arcade fighters this week. Also drawing tabletop RPG portraits. So if you want to see a big variety of cool cyberpunk stuff, hang out on the Neoncaster Twitch channel. And that is me.
Nice. Next, Katie.
Hello, hello. I've been Katie Chin playing River Song for you, she, her pronouns all around. If you want to find me online, you can go on Twitter and follow at Katie Peak with peak spelled like a mountain peak. Or you could follow me on Twitch at Macaroni KTX, where I don't do very much, but you know what? A follow would be nice. If you want to listen to more of my voice, you can find me on the Valence podcast, an urban fantasy audio drama where I play Grace Chen, and a government bureaucrat doing her best because there's a lot of queer children that she's looking after who are also doing their best. That's me. Thank you very much.
If I can interject real quick for a moment, because I just binged Valence a couple of weeks ago, it's very good, and you should go listen to it. And Katie does an excellent job with her role, and is in it like real early, and just nails the role right off the bat. Like I'm immediately transported to the role. It's a great time. You should listen.
Yeah, it is indeed dope. And last but not least, Amor.
Hi, I'm Amr Amaraz. I was here today playing Nahmat Al the MC of the group now, I guess. The one here to answer questions and trash talk the other teams. We both use they she pronouns, and you can find me everywhere on the internet at Amaraz. Currently doing a bunch of random game design and writing stuffs. Streaming related. If you want to see more of that, you can see me every other Friday. So the Friday that just passed, and then Friday before the coming Soundclash on Utopia as part of season 2 of Chimera, Cape and Blade. But don't be intimidated by the season 2. It's an entirely new story with a mostly new cast of characters that doesn't require any context. So come along for fun times of superhero and fantasy shenanigans, stories of people being punched by gods and punching gods. It's a great time all around. Also, did I mention that there are whales on the moon? That's it. That's all I got.
Whales on the Moon is always
Yeah,
a
on
good
all
selling
48 of
point.
moons, actually.
Okay. And I will also say, just briefly to interject, that Utopia makes genuinely good content week round. So definitely give them a follow and definitely check out all of the cool things that they do. Um, as for me, I have been your stage manager, Brandon O'Brien. My pronouns are he, him, or they, them. Soundclash is my game that is still presently in progress, but it is a very cool Blades in the Dark hack where you start a rock band and stick it to the industry and maybe become famous or maybe destroy the entire entertainment industrial complex under your very magnificent hands. Um, I'm very eager to have Soundclash the Clampdown be my very public playtest of the game. I'm glad that everybody is enjoying it. It continues to give me confidence that the game will be good when it's finished. Um, and you will find out more about Soundclash the Clampdown and more of my other writing and game design projects on my Twitter. That's The Rising Tides, Tithes. On my website, brandonobrien.space, or on my new newsletter that I've started, which is brandonobrien.substack.com, where you will see me have random musings about anime and television shows, and sometimes share screen captures of cute cats from games that I'm playing on my phone, if that kind of thing interests you. So yes. So that has been the session of Soundclash Clampdown. Thank you all again to Nathan, Vale, Katie, and Amber for joining me for yet another session of this game. Our next session will be on the 28th of this month, which may be a bit earlier in the day that we still need to figure out because daylight savings time is a thing that happens both in the US and in the UK. So we're going to have to let you know exactly what time we have to start on that session very soon. But we are still we are still definitely carded to have a session of Soundclash and Clampdown on the 28th. As for next Sunday, I will also be GMing another session of Blades in the Dark, The Case of the Cindered Seal, our Speculate uh, uh, mini-series co-stream on this channel, twitch.tv/Arvan Elron. And I would be very pleased to see you all attend as well next Sunday at 7 p.m. Until then, I will bid all of my lovely Soundclash crew a very good evening, and I will disappear just very briefly. I will be back. Um, as I do this now, and hope that everybody can see me and hear me still. Um, Thanks so very much for joining us for today's session of the Case of Descended Seal. Wow. Thank you so much for joining us for this session of Soundclashy Clampdown. So many things were in my brain just now. I apologize. But it's really cool that you all got to see me uh, get the crew into even more shenanigans because I've been planning that particular beat for a while now. And that was a lot of fun to actually get them to that point, and I'm glad that I got to bring you all there with me. I would like to first and foremost thank Arvaneleron for giving me the opportunity to do things on this channel. Even when I keep having technical difficulties, he has not given up on me yet. And that gives me a lot of hope, obviously, because I really like doing things for this channel. I think that this channel and this community is really dope. And I'm really glad to be able to share this thing that I'm working on with you all and know that you all actually enjoy it as much as I enjoy continuing to make it. Um, big shout out to Arcanus Bot, Hilnus, and Triffid Emats, our mods for this channel, for being so diligent and so responsible. And thank you to Amaraz, Aten, Carbob14XYZ, Commander Root, Crit Twitch, Foxy by Proxy, Garlic Tofu, hi, uh, Gorgar, Go With Him, Ice Bunny 101, Live Swang, Macaroni KTX, Mrs. Dunsel, Omega Jep, Red Laco, Silly Gnome 225, Small Town Wizard, Sinshek, hi, Tom Toms, The Neon Caster, Trio Perds, U Christensen, VNK, Villain Vicencio, and Virgo Pros. Thank you for the two um, raids that we had during this session. One from Cobalt Press and another from someone that I'm totally forgetting at this moment all of a sudden. From Mr. Ripper Stream. Thank you so much for those two raids. I hope that everybody who stuck around to enjoy this session at least found a little bit of it that they could enjoy. Thank you so much for spending this evening with us. I will be back on Sunday for the Case of the Sinded Seal, and the Soundclash crew will be back on the 28th for some of the first clash business of Soundclash the Clampdown. And until then, I will bid you all a very good evening by rerunning the intro that apparently didn't run the first time. And I will see you all around the internet very soon. Until then, keep the frequency in your heart, friends.